Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for one wild trading day and wild information day today, and it is Thursday, and we are now at the 9th of October, 2025, about 6:15 p.m. So, in terms of regular news for tomorrow, you're going to get the Chicago Fed president, Austin Goolsbee. He'll be speaking at 8:45. You know, there's a Fed conference going on, a community bank conference at the Federal Reserve. And today we saw, I think it was Daly spoke, I know Powell spoke, Barr spoke, and one other spoke. I forgot what it was. But we're getting everybody's opinion as to where they're at. And I've got to tell you, if you listen to Michael Barr, I didn't get the impression that he's of the need to cut interest rates as much as people think. I'm also with him. Part of the problem that we have is if the Fed is data dependent, there's no data for them to make a decision on. I mean, there's outlier data, but do they really want to rely on Challenger Gray and ADP? I don't think so. So we'll see just how that all plays out. But I'm just giving some thoughts here. You could say the Fed is going to cut because they want to get ahead of the curve. Okay. They can feel, how's that word, that labor's weak and they got to do something. But if they're truly data dependent, they've given you an insurance cut. And I know the market is saying there's a 94% chance that at the end of the month we will get a cut. So I'm not saying that's not the crowd thinking. I'm just questioning it. University of Michigan preliminary October consumer sentiment indices came out. Well, they'll come out tomorrow at 9 o'clock. That's not the government. Economists are forecasting a little bit lower. They're looking for a 54 reading instead of the final 55.10 at the end of September. You know now that Israel and Hamas have signed the deal where they are going to attempt another peace. I want to use that very carefully. Attempt. I don't know if it'll go through. I don't know where we're at. If you hear that the president is most certainly flying to the Mideast for the signing of the deal, then you know the deal is done. What is the deal? I cover that in great detail tonight in my written update, so I won't bother you with it. You can go on the internet and read all about it for your own. Scott Bessent today came to the aid of Argentina. He put in $20 billion through their bank to buy their peso. That may not be enough, but it's a sign that the U.S. is serious about helping. Now, I didn't think the U.S. was going to do the swaps. In fact, I had heard that they weren't. They had another way they were going to do it. But instead, they came in and they did a currency swap. Okay, but the Trump administration is known for saying one thing and quickly turning around and doing something else. Lots of law cases, as you know, also going on today. There's so many, I don't even want to go into them. So today was a day where momentum got questioned. We saw the gold market go into a mini crash, $120 from its peak. Today, it fell. The silver market had nearly a $2 range in it. The copper market had a 20-cent range from high to low. It's hard to believe you're getting these kind of moves. And what did I tell you? I've been saying in my reports and elsewhere that this is not for the faint of heart now. You've gotten up into the stratosphere so far and so fast that the market's going to get those swings as it tries to develop a trade top and trading ranges and possibly consolidation. That's what I think we're trying to do. We'll find out. On the energy market, you were down over $1 a barrel in the energies today. You're getting a bid in the evening, lowering real rates. You can see that in the foreign currency markets, it's a little bit of everything for someone. They were mostly lower against the dollar, which was very strong today, up 64 points. That's a lot. It's approaching, as you can see, the mid-99 level. So impressive. All right. When we look at the S&P, if the week ended just like this, I know it doesn't feel like it, you'd be up 1/3%. You know, you would think it's a lot more, but it isn't. You're getting a consolidation phase going. That is consolidation. Go anywhere out of that, but that's not a market that's any longer doing this. Instead, it came up and it's just going more sideways than anything. You can see how the market on the swing lines has got a pattern of higher lows, higher highs still. The support in the market, if it wanted to break hard, is the 18-day average of closes at 67.36, about 50 points lower. The market's running into resistance very clearly at the black dashed line, the upper Bollinger Band, and that's why the market is sort of stalled. And you want to just keep your eye right here. As long as this stays embedded, tomorrow on breaks, I think the pros will buy. I think they'll bail if the red line closes under 79. Otherwise, they won't do anything. In the NASDAQ, you're fully embedded here too. Market is also run into the resistance at the upper Bollinger Band. I do think the pros will buy the breaks. When we get to the Dow Jones Industrials, no. This and the Russell are the weak ones, and the market fell back to the 18-day average to regroup itself, and you might even do that in the Russell. As you can see, it's definitely a market that's in overbought territory. I define overbought when either or if both of the numbers are over 70 and not both going sideways over 80. And that's exactly what I have there. In the DAX, all of a sudden, you're getting a big reversal down. Be careful. This market suddenly has lower highs and higher lows. It's probably going to lose its embedded reading in the morning. You can get more of a correction if that occurs. That's the word, if that occurs. In the 10-year note, you can see that the market's run into the buzzsaw of resistance at the line in the sand, the 18-day average of closes. When the market's under that number, I have bearish bias over it, bullish bias. And bias is a filter on the other technical indicators. Same thing in the 2-year note, which brings us to the dollar index, this is the highest move it's recently had, and all I hear about is debasing. You hear that too. Well, this market just came from under the 96 level to 328 points higher. That's not so weak. I don't know what to tell traders. That's not so weak. And what it did is it broke the other currencies against it, each one that you look at coming down. Now, Asia over the past 2 days has seen the New Zealand currency get a 50 basis point cut. We saw that Thailand came in and did a 25 basis point cut. The Philippines were widely thought that they would cut. They held steady. But just giving you an idea what's going on. Economies, they're weakening, but debt is what people are looking at. And the question is, if you keep interest rates high, that debt works against the dollars you're taking in, and you've got to be concerned about it. Just like we run our households, well, markets look at how the governments run themselves. In Bitcoin, lower highs, lower lows, markets trying to give you a correction. It's no more than that. The question is, how far down does it go? The logical first spot is around the 118,000 a coin area. In the energies, all we did, and I said it yesterday, if you'll recall, we were rallying up to the combination of resistance that was crystal clear here on the 100-day average in the 18, and so far the market's unable to penetrate it. You did a similar thing in the WTI. Remember, I flip-flopped you and I said in heating oil, you got the opposite. You're looking for support on this break because winter's right around the corner. It's hard to believe, but it's right around the corner. Our heat's going to go on, the air conditioners go off, and you start using some of this. And in natural gas, you suddenly have lower highs, lower low. And if you were to finish just this way where you're at now, you'd be back in a bear trend. You'd have lower highs, lower lows under the 18-day average and momentum pointing down. So it's got to hold this area. Otherwise, I can make an argument for the market maybe to retest even the $3 mark. So that's where I see the markets right now. I'll be writing tonight. In fact, I've written my newsletter. It's got a lot of detail on Israel-Hamas, the president, the soybean market, what the president wants to do. President Xi, all of a sudden tightening rare earths again, saying you got to have more licenses to export. That's code word. He's going to cut back on the exporting of that. This is all gamesmanship before the two presidents, Xi and Trump, meet in November. But everybody's positioning themselves to be ready for that. How do you get my reports? Go up here. There'll be an icon. The word that you want is research, iraepstein.com research, and that's where they're at. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. Watch the other videos, and I'll catch up with you in the morning. Take care.